you're watching this portion, that means that you bought the monster deck. You're going to be playing some solo adventures or possibly fighting some monsters with your buddies. This deck comes with 50 cards. There are some unique monsters. There's also your instruction manual in case you need that on the fly. There are some duplicate monsters, and there's battle modifiers. There are so many different combinations of things that can happen when you're fighting that you'll probably not have the same encounter too often. In fact, I would love to see the math on it, but there's so many random combinations that you can get that there's a lot of replayability here, especially if you're playing with a buddy. The first thing to know, though, is that every monster card has a few things going on here. They're very similar to the character cards in that you're going to have the name up at the top, how many hit points they get, their attack value, their defense value, and their recovery value. Now, if you're playing by yourself, you need to either get rid of the defense or the recovery. Because if you don't, you're probably going to be in an infinite loop. There are some times where just the amount of damage that they can deflect and then recover, it may be impossible to beat them. So if you're playing by yourself, just get rid of one of those. Probably the recovery there. Get rid of the recovery there. If you're playing with friends, then you definitely want both on, so that way you've got a challenge. So here's the deal. This says, the first paragraph on almost all the monster cards is going to say something to the effect of, this creature attacks what player first. So this one attacks the player with the most hit points first, then that player's left in subsequent turns. There are some times where it might attack the player with the least hit points. It may say that it attacks all players every turn. What makes this character unique is then the next paragraph. Every time the Mookie successfully attacks, they temporarily steal one item from that creature and use it for the rest of the combat, gaining whatever perks or benefits, if any, that come with those items or weapons. Items are returned if the Mookie is killed. If similar item types are stolen, let's just say like 2 swords or 2 what have you, then they are trashed instead. So if he gets pulled up, then we're going to go ahead and give him, he has 10 hit points, so we're going to count that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so when combat starts, I go first. It's my turn, so I'm going to hit him for 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. And now there's no other players playing, so it's now the Mookie's turn. Oh, actually, he had 1 defense, so he only takes 2 damage. Check that out. So now he's going to hit me. So he hits for 2 damage, so I lose that. Those cards get trashed. But here's the twist. The only item that I have equipped that he can steal is my War Sword, which is not good. Because if you think about it, the War Sword says attacks with this weapon will damage 2 creatures. So he's now swinging for 4 damage. I have 5 hit points left. So I got to figure something out pretty quick. I got to hit him with everything I can. So then my turn would start. I have my 1 recovery. I can recover a hit point. I'm going to definitely do that. And then the game would play as normal. I can take my prepare phase, my action phase, all that good stuff, and try to take him down. If you're playing by yourself, you're trying to see how many of these guys you can beat and have as trophies. Try to beat your personal score. Maybe you can beat 5 monsters before they take you out. Maybe it's just 1. It's like, crap, need a different strategy, or that was just way too tough. Maybe you can get through the whole deck. But the idea is as they take damage from their hit points, once they get knocked out, those cards get put on the bottom of the deck. So once this creature's been beaten, that gets put off to the side. That's my trophy. And then we'll play the next one. I get my sword back. Thank you. So this time, we got a different one. The Stromgeist has a lot of hit points. Does not attack on its turn. It only recovers hit points, but attacking players take 2 physical damage. So he's going to recover hit points, but every time you hit it, you're going to take damage. So there's a balancing act there. You got to find a way to take it out. Maybe use a spell. Maybe there's poison you can use, something that you don't have to hit the tree as much, and you can kill it before it kills you. But let's say before we flip that over, we flipped over one of these instead. This is a battle modifier. And some of these will have hit points. Some of these are coding like a computer code that don't have hit points. They just exist for the round. So for instance, Thorny Vines. Target creature can take damage as normal, but any creature that physically attacks will take 2 physical damage from the Thorny Vines. The creature is defeated before the vines are destroyed. The character that dealt the final blow will receive this card as a trophy as well. So, potentially, you could get 2 trophies out of that if you meet those conditions. But the same thing here, you would put out however many cards for your monster, and then you'd put out so many cards for the hit points. And then you gotta decide, does it make more sense to attack the Thorny Vines first, get those out of the way, or are you gonna just kind of power through and fight the monster? You gotta come up with different strategies there. So that's a situation where you could attack that. Like, for instance, there's some armor modules also have hit points. Those are gonna add defense. So you might have to attack this first before you can even start damaging the monster. That's all completely random. So the first time you fight the Stromgeist, it might be one of those things where it went super easy, no big problem, but now that it's got an armor module, it's like, oh no, what do I do? You got to figure out a new strategy. There's also some battle modifiers that are called corrupt code. So for instance, attack up. Sometimes this affects just the monster, sometimes it affects everybody on the battlefield. So in this situation, for the duration of this battle, all creatures do +1 physical damage for physical attacks. After the battle, this card is returned to the bottom of the deck. So everybody's going to be doing additional damage. Now, if you're playing by yourself, the general rule of thumb is, obviously, you know, self-govern. It's up to you how you want to play. But I say I wouldn't do any more than one of these battle modifiers per player that's playing. So if it's just you, I wouldn't do more than one. I wouldn't do an armor module and the attack up. Or there's some on there for, like, if you can recover your hit points, that sort of thing. If you're playing with a friend, then you just go to the left. So I would take my turn, then my buddy to the left would take their turn. Then it would be the monster's turn. And again, you just got to, you know, help each other remember who that monster attacked last time, so that way it can stay in rotation as well. But here's the deal. Whoever gets the final blow on the monster gets that trophy. So if I didn't slay the beast, I don't get this. My buddy does. So if you want to have a little bit of friendly competition, so you can have the bragging rights who slayed the most beasts, there's that aspect. Counter that, after you slay a monster and you're getting ready to draw the next one up, you can spend one of your trophies and put that back at the bottom of the monster deck to refill your hit points or revive a teammate. That's up to you. You guys, thanks so much for backing. Truly appreciate it. Take care.